Royal Event 2025, Princess Leonor of Asturias wedding stops Europe. The world expected a royal celebration. But no one expected this. The moment Princess Leonor walked down the aisle, time itself seemed to stop. Europe held its breath. Cameras froze. Crowds trembled. Because this was not just a royal wedding, this was history being rewritten before our eyes. In the heart of Madrid, the bells of Almudena Cathedral rang louder than ever before. Their echoes traveled across Spain, over the Pyrenees, through France, into the north of Europe, where monarchies watched in awe and disbelief. Princess Leonor of Asturias, heir to the Spanish throne, was not just getting married. She was stepping into destiny. From the earliest days of her life, Leonor had carried the weight of a nation. Born into royalty, trained for duty, and loved by millions, yet rarely allowed to show her heart. But in 2025, she did the unthinkable. She chose love over protocol, emotion over politics, and Europe could not look away. Every detail of the ceremony was perfection. The cathedral shimmered in gold and ivory. The Spanish royal family arrived in solemn grace. Queen Letizia, radiant yet reserved, guided her daughter with pride only a mother can hold. King Felipe, composed and strong, held his emotions close. But behind his eyes, the world saw it, the terror of a father watching his little girl become a queen. And then, silence. The cathedral doors opened. Leonor appeared. The crowd gasped. Her gown, crafted by Spain's finest hands, was more than a dress. It was a statement. Hand-embroidered symbols from every Spanish province covered the silk, representing unity, heritage, and future. A train of royal blue lace trailed behind her, echoing the sea between Spain and the rest of Europe, a bridge of beauty and tradition. But what truly stopped Europe was who stood waiting at the altar. The man she chose. His name whispered across tabloids for months. Rumors of royal disapproval, political tension, even heartbreak surrounded their courtship. Yet there he was, calm, noble, eyes locked only on her. Not for the throne, not for status, but for love. When Leonor reached him, they did not bow or curtsy. They simply looked into each other's eyes. For a moment, protocol vanished. Cameras captured something rare in royal history, genuine affection. A connection that transcended tradition. That single look silenced centuries of royal rigidity. As the vows began, the archbishop's voice trembled with emotion. Every word carried the weight of centuries. Leonor's voice was clear, unwavering. Her, "I do," wasn't just a promise, it was a declaration that the crown could coexist with the heart. Outside, thousands filled the plaza. From Madrid to Barcelona, from Copenhagen to London, from Rome to Oslo, Europe watched live. Flags waved, bells rang, people cheered for love that conquered protocol. And yet, beneath the joy, there was tension. Behind palace walls, whispers grew louder. Some royal insiders questioned the match. Was it too modern, too bold? Could Spain's young queen to be truly balance love and legacy? In Denmark, the cameras panned to the royal box. Prince Christian of Denmark, Leonor's long-rumored connection, sat quietly among the guests. His expression, graceful, yet unreadable. For years, Europe speculated about a possible union between Spain and Denmark. But that dream had faded. Christian, though composed, could not hide the flicker of emotion as Leonor said her vows to another. Queen Margrethe of Denmark leaned slightly toward him, whispering something the cameras couldn't catch. His nod was slow, deliberate. Europe's royal families understood, this moment marked a turning point. Old alliances were changing. The next generation was rewriting royal tradition. Back inside, Leonor and her husband sealed their vows with a kiss that lasted no longer than a second, but it was enough to ignite headlines worldwide. The cathedral erupted. Trumpets blared. The Spanish national anthem thundered through the hall. The Princess of Asturias was now a wife, a future queen with a heart that refused to be caged by formality. But the celebration was far from over. The royal procession through Madrid transformed the city into a living fairy tale. Crowds waved red and yellow flags. Children perched on their parents' shoulders. The air shimmered with confetti. Leonor's carriage rolled through the Grand Via, surrounded by mounted guards in gleaming armor. For a moment, Spain looked united again, proud, emotional, hopeful. At the evening banquet, the world's most powerful gathered under crystal chandeliers. Spain's royal hall glowed with candlelight. The king raised his glass. "To my daughter," he said, voice firm but tender, and to the future she will lead, not alone, but with love. The hall erupted in applause. But even amidst the celebration, political undercurrents stirred. European leaders exchanged cautious glances. Some feared this marriage would shift alliances, while others saw it as a bridge between modern democracy and ancient monarchy. The press called it the wedding that stopped Europe, because for the first time, emotion had overtaken politics. Later that night, Leonor stepped onto the palace balcony. Below, thousands still waited. She smiled, waved, and then looked beside her, the man she had chosen, standing with quiet strength. Fireworks illuminated the Madrid sky. The crowd chanted her name. And for that one breathtaking night, Europe forgot its divisions. But behind the beauty, new stories were beginning. Reports of tension between royal advisors surfaced. Questions about how Leonor's husband would fit into royal duties emerged. Would he be accepted by the Spanish parliament? Would Europe's royals embrace him, or see him as an outsider? In the weeks that followed, the wedding became more than an event, it became a statement of evolution. Social media overflowed with emotion. Millions praised Leonor for her courage. Others warned that her choice might spark challenges within the monarchy. But Leonor remained silent, focused, radiant. She had done what no royal of her generation dared to do, follow her heart in full view of the world. Days later, in an intimate televised address, Leonor spoke to the people of Spain. Her voice was calm, filled with warmth. A queen must serve, she said, but she must also live. Love does not weaken duty, it strengthens it. Those words echoed across Europe, sparking debate and admiration in equal measure. In London, King Charles reportedly expressed deep respect for her composure. In Monaco, Princess Charlene sent personal congratulations. Even the Vatican issued a statement of blessing, calling the union a symbol of faith and renewal. But not everyone was pleased. Within the royal courts, whispers of discontent persisted. Some traditionalists believed Leonor's modern approach would dilute royal discipline. Yet the younger generation, across Europe, saw her as a hero. A symbol of authenticity in a world of ceremony. As months passed, the royal couple's first international tour was announced. Their destination, Denmark. A bold move. The same country whose prince once stood silently at her wedding. The world held its breath again. Would the meeting between Leonor and Prince Christian be awkward? Would it reopen old rumors? But when the moment came, it was grace itself. Cameras captured them greeting each other with a sincere smile, exchanging words only they could hear. It was not rivalry. It was respect. Two future monarchs, each carving their own path. The tour strengthened ties between the Spanish and Danish crowns. Yet, more than diplomacy, it revealed Leonor's growing confidence. The once reserved princess was now a poised, articulate figure. She spoke to crowds, met with leaders, and carried the calm assurance of a true sovereign. Everywhere she went, people whispered the same phrase: she's not just a princess anymore. She's a leader. By the year's end, Leonor and her husband had become Europe's most watched royal couple. Their story, rooted in love, challenged by tradition, elevated by courage, became the heartbeat of a continent. And so, when historians look back at 2025, they will not see it merely as the year of a royal wedding. They will see it as the year when Europe stopped, just for a moment, to witness love defy expectation. The year when a young princess became a queen not by coronation, but by conviction. Princess Leonor of Asturias did more than marry. She reminded an entire continent that even behind crowns and ceremonies, the truest power is the courage to love. And that is why her wedding didn't just stop Europe. It transformed it.